The 20th lesson I have learned from the people of Broadway Church is to live as if the gospel is true. Not all lessons come from joy. I was talking with one of the previous pastors of Broadway, who's since deceased, and he was telling me that back in the 50s, the principal of Crispus Attucks High School here in Indianapolis began attending Broadway with his family. Of course, in the days of segregated education, the principal was black. He asked the pastor if he and his family could join the membership of Broadway, and the pastor said, "I don't think that Broadway is ready for that." Broadway, like all places, has struggled with how and when to do the right thing. I was here at Broadway in the 1980s as Broadway was grappling with LGBTQI+ inclusion and finding its way forward. In 1992, there was a same-sex wedding here at Broadway, and it was a glorious day for Michael and Alan and all who were a part of it. Unfortunately, it became a contentious flashpoint, both locally and even nationally. Broadway continued to struggle with what it meant to be part of a denomination that discriminates and talked about it as living as if the gospel is true. Hosting a same-sex wedding is living as if the gospel is true. I could see in people's eyes when the wedding ceremony began, people saying to themselves, "I wonder what's going to happen." And then about 10 minutes in, I could see in those same people's eyes, "Oh, it's a wedding." This is what it means to be living as if the gospel is true, so that people can again remind themselves and see the power of love. This congregation has witnessed to God's abundance in the midst of people who don't have money. This is living as if the gospel is true. I have learned many lessons from here at Broadway in this, about interrupting racism, about taking on inequality, and all of it has at its heart the commitment to live as if the gospel is true. Thank you, Broadway.